There is a lot of people that are questioning right now, and even a lot of people that I've been seeing, at least, that are quite outraged at the fact that Jeffrey Epstein is supposedly innocent. There is no Jeffrey Epstein client list. Apparently, no millionaires or billionaires went to Jeffrey Epstein's island and did some crazy, horrific, evil stuff on the island. That didn't actually happen. Believe it or not, Jeffrey Epstein is just a creep, and Jeffrey Epstein was the one that ended his own life. I've seen the evidence. I've seen the facts, supposedly, according to Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Even though before Kash Patel got into the job, he was saying that he believes Jeffrey Epstein didn't end his life and there is a client list and he will reveal all when he gets in the job. Turns out when he gets in the job, changes his mind completely because, whoa, lo and behold, seems like some new information has come to light, right? We've got to protect the millionaires and the billionaires. Can you imagine if this information actually came out? Like if the world knew who was on the list, not just Prince Andrew. So what is the point of Prince Andrew being charged for going and doing some horrific things on Jeffrey Epstein's island with child exploitation material? So what is the point of Prince Andrew getting charged if we know that so many other people actually went to his island and we know what was actually going on that island? But according to Pam Bondi, Attorney General Pam Bondi, right? And even now Trump's fed up with people talking about Jeffrey Epstein because he's old news, people. He's old news. Now, I am looking at this I am trying to be as objectionable as I possibly can be. I'm trying to look at what we know. And I do believe, for one, that there is more to this story than meets the eye, and we're not getting the actual truth. Because can you imagine if the millionaires and the billionaires that went to this island, can you imagine if those names ever did see the light of day? Can you imagine what would happen not only to them, but to the entire fabric of the world? It would shatter it, not just like in America, but around the world. You couldn't really trust anyone. I mean, this is probably a really terrible situation at the moment because we know that there were people that went to Jeffrey Epstein's island. We know what went on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Worst case scenario is Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of child exploitation material and he showed it to a bunch of the people that went on the island. And Jeffrey Epstein himself is a creep. He's twisted. He's vile. And also the other people that went and actually watched all the material, which, that being said, those people should still be charged. Just because it was Jeffrey Epstein's material that he got doesn't mean that these people get away scot-free. They're complicit. They're also part of the crime. They're watching it. They're playing on with it. So for me, I am looking at this and I am utterly disgusted that no one is being charged. And it looks like Jeffrey Epstein is apparently innocent of all this. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein himself couldn't handle the weight or the burden of anything that he was dealing with in prison. He couldn't handle it. So he had to end his own life. He had to hang himself, evidently. Meanwhile, Ghislaine Maxwell, the one that serviced all the clients, she's still in prison. She was charged. So what's the point in charging her? Well, for child exploitation material, okay, but what about servicing all these clients? Gee, why is she still around? What I find this story truly fascinating. I really do. And we were told for the longest time, Kash Patel said before he got into office, there's more to this story than meets the eye. And when I get into office, I'm going to reveal all. I'm going to tell everyone Jeffrey Epstein certainly did not end his own life. There were people that did it. He was probably a Mossad agent. He was all this, 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 and this. And you have the other people like Candace Owens, for example, that say it implicates Israel. So we can't possibly do that. No, I think that it implicates some very, very powerful people, not just in America, but around the world. That's why I think this story, because we know Jeffrey Epstein used tapes to blackmail highly influential and powerful people, and he's no longer with us to tell us all that. But I think with the day and age that we're living in, you can't really trust politicians nowadays. And I thought you could trust Trump, but his reaction to this is truly something else. You've gone from we're going to release everything to now it's old news. We've got to forget about it and move on. And here is Trump that actually has done some good in regards to the whole human trafficking industry. He watched Sound of Freedom with Tim Ballard, and he was putting a great deal of money towards ending a lot of the human trafficking. Now, he's done a great job with the border, which is partly responsible, in fact, mostly responsible for a lot of the human trafficking cases, especially with children. So he's put an end to that. That's a great thing, but human trafficking still goes on, I'll have you know, in the US. So I think, same with the material that gets circulated, I think Trump having this kind of attitude towards Jeffrey Epstein, I think it needs to change. I think these people need to be held account. Like, why aren't they? I honestly get the kind of upset this would make. It would be huge. But I do believe that if you have done the wrong thing, you should be held account. You should be charged. Here is a video of Trump and Pam Bondi pretty much going back on the stuff that they were saying. Have a watch.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the stabbing?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively. The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
So are you saying, Pam Bondi, that you watched all of the hours upon hours of child pornography that Jeffrey Epstein downloaded to make sure that none of it included any of the supposed millionaires and billionaires that went to the island? Is that what you're telling us? You personally, along with your team, reviewed all of that material and it didn't mess you up for life? That's interesting to me. And then you also said, it's on my desk. You said in an interview, notice how the flip-flopping, smokes and mirrors, people. Like, that's what I smell. Bullshit. I smell total and utter bullshit. I don't know about you guys. You guys probably like sense the exact same thing. You can tell when people are lying to you, and they're lying straight to your face. There is more to this story than meets the eye. And Trump's reaction, very disappointing, although I do understand they probably were talking about the horrific Texas flooding, the amount of innocent lives that were lost. I believe it's over 100 now. in a Christian camp. Like, it's unfathomable. It's just truly, truly horrific. So I understand like Trump getting upset and angry at the time being wasted on the creep Jeffrey Epstein. But honestly, like, why can't you just tell the truth? The reason people are still talking about Epstein is because he was using child exploitation to blackmail the powerful people. And we haven't got a lick of accountability yet. Not one person has gone down, except for Ghislaine Maxwell and Prince Andrew. That's about it. So you mean to tell me that Bill Gates, everyone else that were close with Epstein, you mean to tell me that they get to walk scot-free? That doesn't seem right. Why is she serving 20 years in prison for human trafficking? If Epstein was just a lone PDF file, then, like, it doesn't make any sense. And like Pam Bondi, her entire reaction to this just, for me, signals you're hiding something. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, the lot of them, they're all hiding something. Even Trump knows. Trying to deflect. Like, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Yes, we are, because we haven't gotten any accountability. We don't even know the truth. Now it's just like even more up in the air. We don't know anything. Except the fact that Jeffrey Epstein is apparently innocent. We're never going to know. You know, I think that one day these people that did the horrible thing will be held to account, as well as those that hid it. I really do believe it. Might not be this side of eternity, might be the next. Who knows? Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.